recommended it to me because I was telling him about how, like, he was first of all recommending like a Disney film to me, and I was like, he was in the middle of recommending it to me, and I was like, I'm going to stop you right now. I'm not really the type that watches like chick flicks or, you know, like tear jerkers. I was like, I don't like emotions. I was like, what I really like is to watch something that absolutely disturbs me. And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh, I've got something for you." And he sent it to me immediately.
Just didn't even.
And I go home that night and I watched the vice presidential debate, and then I watch it right after. That's how excited I was. I was like, first I'm going to do my civic duty to listen to these two idiots, and then I'm going to watch this documentary. And then I was like, Marco, watch this shit.
I wonder if it was a he or she.
My student?
Yeah.
He.
I wonder if he was starting out a little bit of being like
No, we were talking about film because he's a big film person. You know what I mean? So it was kind of just like, oh, have you seen this film? This is a great film. It's kind of a chick flick. And I was like, I'm going to stop you. And then he was like, okay, well, I've got one for you then. And I was like, lay it on me.
He didn't even go light with it. You just said you don't watch chick flicks, and then he gave you a bunch of animal fucking.
No. I said I like to be disturbed. I made it so clear. I want to be disturbed when I watch a film. Yeah.
He didn't even skip a beat.
No.
He was probably going to be like, oh, like here's some sort of no, bestiality.
Yeah. Well,
bestiality.
Or maybe zoophilia, now that I know the big difference.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
I did. Yeah, there is a difference.
I learned a lot.
There is a difference.
So tell me about this documentary. We are live now, by the way.
Okay.
Oh. We have been.
Okay, so it's not like a full documentary. It's like a segment that Vice News did, and I'll put it in the channel if you guys want to watch it, and then please be aware you will never unwatch it. So full disclosure, it's in there forever.
Okay.
So, I guess I don't know, Marco, do you want to explain this? I feel like you're a better explainer than I am.
Okay. Yeah, so it's an exploration of what's the city?
Cartagena,
Colombia, which is on the coast. So it's a coastal city, beautiful city. Just like Homeboy, the host, pointed out, which I'm glad. At first, I'm like, okay, he's kind of being a little pervy. He's saying like all the women here are gorgeous, but he said it to a point of why.
Yeah, and
why
the
men? Yeah.
Really, I believe it because I feel that way about Wilmington. Like I walk around Wilmington, and I'm like, all of these girls are a 10. Every single one of these girls that live in this beach town are absolutely gorgeous. Like, even the fugly girls are beautiful. Like in Utah, they would clean up. Are you kidding me? Like even the fugly ones are so gorgeous. And it's like, so I get that. There's something about beach cities that just attract gorgeous ladies. Am I right, Amy? Pew, 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 pew.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, that was totally a thing. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. Gorgeous ladies, gorgeous beach town, and they have this very strange custom. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage for adolescent boys to lose their virginities by fucking a donkey.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did you not
that's
know?
what they do.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
This is like this, I guess, well kept secret that there's this like cultural norm,
acceptance and norm. Listen, yeah.
They interviewed this.
Which one?
sex anthropologist, and it was so interesting because she said flat out, and then you immediately had to get your brain around it. It's a different way of looking at sex. It's totally different, you know?
I mean...
So then they go and they interview these children who are having sex with donkeys right now. And the way that they're describing the like pussy right on the donkey... these are like 10-year-old kids, and this is how they are exercising their, whatever, sexual oats or whatever, right? This is how they're sewing it. But it's like this 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid is describing this like pussy on this donkey, and it is the weirdest, most excruciating thing. I was like all by myself on the sofa, and I was like this because it was just so excruciating to watch this child describe fucking a donkey.
I mean,
Yeah, he was like 11 or 12 years old. You can even see how uncomfortable the correspondent was.
Yeah.
In delay, because I don't think he spoke Spanish. So you can see the body language that the kid and the hand gestures that the kid was doing. And then he'd look at like the interpreter and be like, oh my God, yeah. That this kid was being that graphic and saying how, some of them have their favorite donkey that they would,
their girlfriend. He kept calling her his girlfriend. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not just a loss of virginity. This is they have their sex partner
well into their adulthood. Yes, well into their adulthood. And then there was this guy who has a wife, like a human wife, but also loves to have sex with donkeys, and he explains it in visual detail for you. And you get to sort of sneak up behind him in the bush. And
so the camera just sneaks up in the shrubbery, pokes the little
100%. The guy's like, well, he's got this little like Dixie cup of rum. And he's like, let's go check on Martin. I think I do remember his name. I had to write it down. The cab driver, because they got into the cab and was just like, hey, let's go to this small town where we're interviewing and going into this subject matter. And Martin's like, oh, I'll tell you about my bitches, his donkeys. And then just went in and started telling about like how many he's been with and how his wife, he gets in trouble with his wife because every now and then he'll just go and sneak off. Or if he sees one in the city or in the streets or something like that, he'd be like, oh, yeah.
There is this world-class moment when Martine is fucking this donkey and the camera zooms in on the donkey's face and she looks utterly bored. And I looked at her in her eyes and I was like, I've been there. Yeah. She's just like chewing. I'm like, I feel you, sister. I have been on that side.
I mean,
she's grazing.
It would have to be.
She just looks over you and rolls her eyes at the camera, and it's like, I know, girl.
So I wonder. I have so many like
questions.
Oh, and I have so much more to say about all this because, of course, this sparked me into a whole thing where I was like, are people doing this all the time? Is this such a strange local custom? Like, what is this? But yes, please.
So, was it that so many dudes got caught having sex with a donkey that it became normalized and it became culturally accepted?
They were saying that one of the reasons, but this can't be totally it because this predates Christianity. But they were saying one of the reasons that is because these girls are Catholic. It's a heavy Catholic region, and so these girls aren't going to have sex. So rather than just practicing masturbation like the rest of the Catholic world does, this is what this particular cultural group chooses to do.
Fuck donkeys.
And it's normal, and it's normalized. So then I go on this rampage and I watch this Canadian full documentary called Donkey Love. And they go into this classroom in Cartagena, and they ask this full classroom of boys, how many of you have fucked a donkey? And every one of them raised their hands. So it is absolutely like a regional cultural norm. They weren't even like their faces too. They weren't even like laughing, like ashamed. It was kind of like, yeah.
I just wonder how it became normalized. And I guess the masturbation makes sense. And the fact that, or the masculine idea that men need sex versus, because that's a very Catholic and in Latin parts of the world, I think that's the idea that men need sex, but women need love and to create babies. You know what I mean? And so like the donkeys are their scapegoat, which is
that's so funny. Yes, that's their scapegoat.
Semi pun intended.
I just can't believe on how accepted and normalized this is in so many cultures. I mean, it
I
kind
started.
of makes me think, Marco, tell me if I'm wrong, kind of makes me think what I'm missing a little bit.
Okay, well, let me put down one of my I'm planning my trip to Colombia soon. Not for the donkeys, but for the unloved ladies there that have been missing out on some love. And then 2, I'm gonna bring all the incels with me and see if I can balance out all this internet hate.
Yeah.
And introduce to them.
We should build a cross, continental love train.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you think, oh man, I don't even know.
It's wild. Yeah.
That is wild.
It's not, I was more shocked as how acceptable it was than anything else.
It's a different way of looking at sex.
They just went, and they just went up to every single guy.
Like, oh my gosh, they just have a different set of goggles when they think about sex than we do.
And I would love to think of it that way, but to me, it still feels a lot like bestiality, rape.
Okay. So here was a little thing that this really interesting sex anthropologist, who I feel like I could talk to all day, mentioned. So this is the difference between bestiality and zoophilia. So bestiality is pretty much when you fuck an animal as a masturbatory tool, and it's not like you have any love for the animal. But there's a thing where people actually love the animal. So I went on a deep dive about Americans, people all over the world, really. Germans, English people, French people, they marry their animals. They love their animals. There's pictures of their dog in a wedding dress, and they're in a tux, and they're kissing. This is a deep dive to go on. The most common one in American history has been marrying your horse. So
that I've heard of.
That's a thing. So it's like, I guess this is part of the human sexual experience that makes me feel sorry for the animal. But at the same time, if a donkey didn't want you to be fucking it, it'd kick you right in the face. I took a donkey down the Grand Canyon once, and he was
I bet you did.
He was an asshole. Like, seriously, he was such a jerk. And he didn't want to do anything. And he made it really clear. And so it was kind of like, okay, maybe they have these relationships with animals that are inexplicable. Like, sometimes how you see, like...
Jay tried to fuck a goat in the Grand Canyon.
First of all, I rode a donkey.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was amazing, except for I had the worst donkey. He was such a jerk, and he was trying really hard to terrify me.
Okay, so from an anthropological standpoint, I'm taking into account that we as humans are able to make decisions about what to love and what to have sex with. But if it's all kosher, if it's all okay, why aren't lions fucking donkeys? Why aren't snakes? You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. So to me, it's less about human versus animal, and it's more about different species they just don't do that,
Well, dolphins,
so why is it
dolphins have been recorded. Dolphins have been recorded trying to have sex with humans, and I've had plenty of dogs try to have sex with my leg. So I think sometimes that sort of cross-species desire to bang overwhelms creatures. But I think it's a cross-wiring of the brain more than anything else.
Has to be. I've dry humped a few legs in my time.
I definitely have.
That's why I got the water bottle out.
I used to dry hump Marco's leg all the time. It was easy because the hair on the calf
I know. Yeah.
Easy to grab onto.
Anyway, dark chapter in human life. I don't see you right now, Marco. I just see like a pickle colored screen.
Oh, I'm there.
I see him.
Oh.
Me and my pickle colored screen is here.
He had
pickle.
Okay, so you mentioned. Did you mention that that it is a law that you can
It's
veterinary animal, or they're trying to overturn that in places?
in most places, there's not a law that prohibits it at all to marry an animal. And there's only a few states where bestiality is prohibited. And there's like a list of them where it's not. So it's like not, you know,
It's just
it's such a strange thing that none of us know
that would
anything.
send me down the hole of like lawmaking. You know, for example, recently a man could have sex with a woman and she said no midway through, he could keep going. In our very great state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
We were talking, I'm not trying to like make this, you know, horrible, but we were talking about weird sex laws. But there are states where sodomy is against the law.
Yeah.
And it's still, and I wish that I planned this out and had like a list of states, but you know, I'm certain that there are probably states where gay marriage is legal, but sodomy is still there's still an anti-sodomy law that's like super antiquated that they just like forgot about because it's in some giant stupid book.
Amy,
I find stuff like that interesting.
adultery is illegal. Like,
that's true.
Their laws are so ridiculous and so silly, and legislators themselves break these laws. So it's just like their sex laws are like from the Bronze Age.
Ben Shapiro.
I'm just still blown away that there's a culture that it's like, oh, hey, happy birthday, buddy. Excited about fucking that donkey?
And they are.
Wow.
What's the violence rate among adolescent men in that area?
What's the what?
Rate of violence. Crimes.
It's a good
It's
question.
lower.
I mean, Columbia itself, I mean, it seemed like a beautiful tourist city. I know it anecdotally as more of kind of a drug capital, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean,
I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, they didn't get into, well, obviously, because it was only, like 15 minutes? So they didn't get into a ton of questions like that I share with you guys. The legal side, they just kind of stuck it just with the act and how normal it was.
I'm convinced that like somebody in power was caught fucking a donkey, and he was like, "Oh no, this is totally okay."
This is what
You know
you
what
do
I mean?
when you have a golden, dong of God. This is what you do.
Right. Yeah, something, it's like the reason why Barcelona has their own accent. It's because some guy was like, this is the way we talk now. And they were like, oh.
I have this list. Zapatillas de tenis.
Let's do this.
I love it. It feels like a whisper in my ears. I love it. I love the Spanish accent.
My lispy Spanish.
I love a Spanish accent. Whenever I used to hear it on the subway, I used to be like, okay, I love that. Yeah.
I'm doing my own ASMR now.
Oh, okay.
Just talking about different tennis shoes. Zapatillas de tenis.
Hey, I just got a text. I got to step away real quick. Y'all can keep conversating.
Is it your donkey? Tell her hi.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, what's up? Tell her.
All this talking. I got to go.
Tell her I'll see her soon.
I forgot to feed my donkey.
Yeah, you got to do that.
With my car.
Okay, so one more thing on that, and basing it off of the donkey in the video who looked bored.
That was my joke, but yeah.
I mean, maybe that's how they get away with it.
That's is a question.
Pick them off because they're just like, what is that?
Oh.
Yeah. Like a fly. Yeah.
A fly.
Yeah.
That is a question that the correspondent kept asking: is if they were afraid of getting kicked?
Yeah.
And most of the boys were like, no.
She likes it.
She likes it. She likes me.
Yes, very much like that. Yeah.
Look at her. She likes it, and she's like just grazing, grazing away.
Oddly enough, that's the part that I have the biggest problem with. Is that they just assume that the donkey's having a good time, and so they don't grow up learning how to please a woman.
And they go into it.
They talk about that. They talk about
yeah.
that, how it sort of destroys their relationships with humans because that's not the human experience. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I almost called her a cryptozoologist, but that's not it. That's not the correct term.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but
She's
definitely like a sex anthropologist.
A sex anthropologist. She said that most of her clients, does she have clients, did she say, or people she talked to or interviewed? That
it seems like she's just done a lot of case studies.
A lot of case studies, said that those, and it was particularly donkeys. She also said that too.
Yeah,
majority of the time was donkeys.
I found that too.
Yeah.
And also, I did this deep diving, and there's all sorts of other reasons why people marry animals. Like there was this story in India. Maybe it was Bangladesh. Okay, it doesn't matter. But there was a story where this guy, when he was a young man, tortured and killed 2 dogs. And he was cursed his whole life. He had just bad luck his whole life. And a soothsayer, like an astrologer, told him to marry a dog, and it would get rid of his curse, whatever that is. And so he did. And like everybody in town came to the wedding, and it was like everybody accepted that he was marrying this dog to get rid of this curse.
Wow.
Did he have sex with the dog?
That's crazy.
Okay, it did not say that in the article, Amy, but thank you. I was hoping I wasn't the only one that was my immediate first question. Is it's like, now that it's my wife, I do what I want. Do what I want to my wife.
Well, and I mean, the Indian culture is kind of known for like not a lot of physical affection. And so if you can't procreate with a dog, then maybe everyone just assumed that they were just pals and that wasn't going to be a thing.
I mean,
I don't know.
Look, maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I'm the weird one. I love animals. I miss Ramsey so much. I would let Ramsey lick my mouth. I didn't care. Like, I'd give him smooches. Mwah, 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 mwah. He'd be licking on my face. But I've never had a weird, impure thought about an animal. Ever. And I don't... Is it something that those cultures... Shorty says this show's fucked up, y'all. You ain't wrong, brother.
This is nothing.
I mean, we can get more fucked up. What gets me, I just don't understand where, is it natural for the kids? Like, is it really of a culture thing, or is it more of a human mindset? Like, this isn't right, but I need to do this because my family you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things like,
I think there might be a parallel in our society, and it's porn. Because, like, porn, it's, accepted to some degree, and young people get, started on it, and then it does shape how they see sex and women in a, I think often unfortunate way and whatnot. So I think that this is just kind of part of being human, is when you're young and horny, you'll fuck anything, including a donkey,
I mean, I used to be a big pervert still, yet again.
Yeah.
I've never been like, man.
Yeah, boys are young pervs, and there's a need there. There's a need. So I guess there was a cultural, way out there.
I also wonder how many I'm like, so you put me in this hole. I am.
No, it's so interesting, Amy. Totally.
So I wonder how many. You said this was like pre-Christianity, that this culture. Okay, so then, oh gosh, I can't think of the word. What is? It's like a genetic
predisposition.
Something, it becomes genetic. So the idea that the for example, and I hate using this example, but I think of it first. The pain of slavery is felt in current generations, like actually felt, because it's become genetic because it went on for so long. The idea that Asian cultures, even if somebody is born and raised American, they prefer Asian cuisine because it's like in their genetic makeup. So I wonder if that's also happened with this strange
I think so to some degree. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it seems so pervasive. So you have to think, there's something underwriting it. Either, I remember this article that I read years ago about why foot fetish is the most common fetish of all the fetishes out there, right? Mm-hmm. And they did this brain mapping. It was so fascinating. They did this brain mapping where they put on these electrodes all over the brain, and they showed these people pictures of body parts. And they mapped where your brain responded when you would see, oh, here's a hand, here's a foot, here's a cock, here's a this, right? Your brain would react and your brain would light up. It turns out feet and genitalia are right next to each other in the brain where you recognize it in the map. So they think it's a literal cross-wiring. And that's why foot fetish is the most common out of all the fetishes. So it's like...
So Mark, Billy, and I talked about this and speculated why foot fetish was so common, and that makes so much sense.
Perfect sense. So I think it might be something along these same lines, where it's like maybe there's a genetic cross-wiring where they see donkey vag as viable procreative vag.
I'm just gonna say I never once thought on this Thursday
about this?
that the words donkey vag would have been said on this show. I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong. Like that was on the bucket list of terms I hope that were said.
Cross it out. I think I have bingo, by the way.
Thank
I just
you.
want to let everyone else know.
Got it?
I think I just got it. Yeah. I was waiting. I can't, you
Donkey
can't say
vag
yourself. But donkey vag was, it was in the corner. I was waiting.
Let that be a lesson to you, Barry, when I text you that I've got a topic.
I knew it was
that
going to be
you should
good.
be extremely afraid.
And maybe you two can answer this, and I know I mentioned it the last time with Amy, was that the foot fetish thing I always see prominently with men and women's feet, but I've never heard a woman ever say, oh, look at that guy's sexy foot.
No, because guys' feet are gross. I mean, they are. I used to work for a dude.
But I'm sure it exists.
This dude had his feet were green.
Likewise, it doesn't seem like these girls are having sex with donkeys. It seems like the boys are having sex with donkeys in this town. So I'm saying there's a proclivity for men to bang things like feet and donkeys, and women are like, no thanks.
We're good.
We're set. We can barely handle dudes.
There's got to be a secret in that town that the women are doing. No.
Yeah, they're living their best lives.
You know what? You know how it's funny because when they did interview the chicks, they're like, they were very much like, "What's wrong with me?" kind of thing.
I wonder if they get jealous.
Which is why I'm going to book my trip to Colombia.
It's just
because there's nothing wrong with him at all.
Get off the plane, drop his bags.
Drop my
show
bags.
them all. There's nothing
30
wrong with
donkeys
that.
run at him.
And I say, buenos dias.
But no, the foot thing before we touched on the fact that perhaps in my lifetime I have known a gentleman or two that had a foot fetish.
Oh, me too. Oh, it's so common. This is why I was like, why am I always, why? Why am I always coming across this?
But they always wanted them like stinky. Like they didn't want like a freshly showered foot.
That blew
and
my
that's
mind.
why I was like, like this is not for me. I'm not judging you, but I can't be a part of this. Like you do you, you'll find your perfect fit or whatever.
There's a lid for every pot. That's what I always say.
Certainly. But I know how gross my feet are, and so I felt uncomfortable with it.
Did it start uncomfortable, or was it like after a while you're like, you know what, I gave it a try, I'm not cool with someone?
No, so it's funny how people kind of spring a fetish on you.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it there. It's just, unfortunately I've been in a lot of situations where somebody thinks that they're being real sneaky.
Yeah.
Like I don't notice what's going on.
Yeah.
Body. And so they're, in the foot fetish specifically in those situations, there was never a discussion until I was like, there needs to be a discussion about this.
Yo, why did I wake up in the morning? You were sniffing my socks out of the hamper.
You know, so not quite like that. Because they did
Where are my
have
shoes?
Where my shoes? Motherfucker, where my shoes?
You guys, I wish it was as vanilla as that. Sniffing the socks and looking at my shoes, that seems like normal to me at this point.
Really? See,
Yes.
I've only had one person
In a
sneak
legitimate foot fetish, you
on
want to
me.
have sex with your feet.
Mm-hmm.
In a legitimate one, that's the aim, is they're trying to have sex with your feet.
Oh, they want a feety fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other one. Hold on, let me get them.
It's on the bingo card. I put
Yeah.
that
I'm waiting. I was waiting for that one, but there's one other one that you haven't said that I think is gonna happen in this.
Probably.
conversation. Yeah.
I've only had
Feety fuck,
one
a lot.
person, like when I was 22, spring a fetish on me. And it was like
What
the
was that?
nicest, sweetest girl. So like went to church every Sunday, took care of her siblings, sweetest. She wanted, like one night she just pulled a strap on out of the closet. She was like, I wanna put this in you. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. There's no way. I have no idea where that's been. No, I mean, that's like the third reason why I wouldn't. But
Could have been into a donkey.
could have been into a donkey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, Like, that's the only time that I've had a fetish thrown on me. That's kind of a question that I ask. Like you're not, like, into, like, eating duty or anything, are you? It's on my...
But see, that's the thing, is nobody's going to be like, yes. They're going to sneak it, like Amy's saying. They're going to sneak it on you.
That's so
and then
weird.
one day you're going to be like, okay.
That's the new season of Love on the Spectrum that I want to see is the
paraphilia edition.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, do you like eating duty? No, I don't. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
I just
Well,
I
then
don't,
there's at least a discussion.
Yeah, that's it. They're
I don't-
straight. They're honest. They're to the point. That's it.
I bet
Yeah.
y'all got some weird ass fetishes too. I bet y'all do. I'm not saying Sam because I don't want to know that. Like y'all are my closest friend. I love you so much, all three of you. I don't want to know it, but I could see y'all being into some messed up stuff. I could see Marco especially. Like I think Marco's got some like
My leashes,
yeah. I think you got some
my dungeon
your
with
dungeon, your leashes.
well, because you've seen them all. You've seen them. Yeah.
I bet it's something to do with sour cream. Like that, like condiments in general. No? Okay.
Nah, that's
You
too
wouldn't
nice.
admit it if it was. And I know
It's,
Shorty's
it's
got
Frank's.
some
It's
things.
Frank's Red Hot. It's Frank's Red
Yeah,
Hot.
I figured hot
I
sauce.
guess hot sauce.
Shorty's got some weird ass fetishes. He just likes to act like he's gonna do something and then fall asleep on top.
That's
what
my
he likes.
move. That's my move.
Oh, then that's
The falling asleep. Yo, that's great. Yeah, that's
come on over.
Come on over.
That's narcolepsy. That's not a fetish.
Oh well, that's true.
You got to read the manual that I wrote.
my fetish is when a guy comes over and cleans my entire apartment for me.
Oh,
that really
my fetish
that really
is when
does it for me.
that would get me going. My fetish is when a man is nice to me and appreciates me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
I knew y'all were freaks.
Ew.
That shit's unheard
I
of.
just want a man that knows how to dust. That's all.
Really.
Knows how to
No one
fold
said-
delicates.
No one said donkey feet yet, have they? They haven't said donkey feet. I was waiting for that.
Donkey feet.
Donkey feet.
That's got to be a fetish. You know it is.
So weird.
Hooves.
Ow.
They're
Hooves.
bovine.
Ow.
They do not have feet.
Rub tug some hooves. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
That sounds rough.
I feel like the biggest wuss in the world because I'm so vanilla. Like I really am. Like I don't have any like weird things. I need to get some.
No, you don't.
I need to get some.
No, you
I
don't.
need to get some.
I wonder if that's what my partner's thinking right now. It's like, he's so vanilla.
Give me Robin's phone number. I'm calling her right now and tell her.
Well, I may get a text in a second and be like, you bring my name up there. No, she doesn't care.
I was having this conversation with my friend who's, like me, an older woman who's single. And we were talking about how as women get older, we get more and more wary of weird sexual proclivities, and men just get more and more weird sexual proclivities. It is a really unfair balance that you have as you walk the experience getting older.
I must be in the middle of that because I was a really horny kid, and now I'm like plateaued sex drive wise. I wonder if it's going to go up again. I hope I'm the dirtiest old man ever. I hope I turn everything into a sexual innuendo. Anything. Oh, sure, another slice of ham. Like anything I could think of. I would love to be a dirty old man. I think it would be great.
Not like you to restaurant. That's not.
I've met that guy. Yeah, I've met that guy.
Oh, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Like, I would love to be a dirty old man. I think it'd be fucking fun.
I'm going to be a dirty old lady that answers the door in my lingerie and a robe. Like in like a cigarette on one of those opera things.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'll be like, are you preaching the gospel, Mormon boys?
Well,
come on in.
Hello,
come on in and save my soul.
Hey, Grubhub.
Then
Gary,
all the Mormon boys are going to want to go to that address. They're like, yo, you got to go over to this.
Going to have fight clubs in the back. Well, hello, Grubhub Gary. Come on in. I do declare.
Oh, poor Grubhub guy today.
I bet he's right now. He is just walking on sunshine. I
thought you were going to say whacking it in his car.
That's actually guy code for whacking it, is walking on sunshine.
Where's there a motherfucking donkey I can find around?
Where's a motherfucking donkey I can find around?
Get a motherfucker find a donkey.
I wonder if like the women get jealous of the donkeys over there.
I think that's the kind of the vibe I got from Martine's wife.
There was one.
It wasn't necessarily jealousy, but more of like she was upset with him.
There was one lady with her arms full of babies, and she was like, "It's fine if they fuck donkeys until they get married."
Someone.
Yeah,
right.
And then they don't. Then they fuck women after that. So it was like it's okay to use them as that placeholder, but she didn't like the idea of them fucking a human and a donkey at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. That was a line that was dropped.
Why would any woman want their dude to come home from fucking a donkey and then hit on them?
Ooh.
I mean, I don't really
talk about some dirty double dipping.
Donkeys in the same plane for me. Just
that's what I was going to say earlier. That the sex therapist anthropologist said about how it messes up their psyche with relationships with women and how difficult they said women are, and they're like, they're just so like they want things like love, and attention.
Yeah, and like care
and like care and like I mean stuff. Yeah, I don't got time for that. All right, I ain't got time for that.
I ain't got time for no love.
Nah.
Too busy fucking donkeys.
It was so interesting.
Y'all watch the weird Jay. As long as I've known you, you have come up with the most random things that you see, and you dive into. The first day that Jay met Robin was at my old house over where you live. And she gets out of the car. She goes, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you." I just got into a whole hole of looking up animal penises. Of looking up, did you know a pig's penis corkscrews? And
it's
then
like a duck, right?
rattled off like 20 facts about animal dicks.
Yeah.
And you know what? You make it all so acceptable. Like you make it like this is a good conversation. Let's have this.
I mean,
I wish I could do that.
the animal kingdom and how the animal kingdom has solved the problem of getting zygotes and gametes together is really, kind of an amazing thing. Like cat penises.
I agree.
Woo!
Cat penises?
They look like a mace, like the
Whoa.
ancient warfare
Really?
weapon.
I gotta
Anyway,
investigate.
Enjoy.
That's crazy.
Enjoy that deep dive, baby.
No, I can talk about a lot of different animals except for pets that I've had.
Right.
So when you start talking about, no, that's my little bud, like, no. So
Yeah.
I
That's
turn
gonna-
into
That's going to be my comment to somebody that brags about their cat next time. Be like, oh, he's just the best cat in the world. I'm like, do you know his penis is shaped like a ancient mace?
barbed.
Yeah. How about his mace dick?
His penis looks like an apocalypse weapon.
Yeah.
If I get a cat, I'm going to name him Mace.
I mean, you all know my cat's name. It's Chunky.
What did that have to do?
It didn't have to go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I just had to say it out loud for
Okay,
my,
wait. Can I
for my
just go on
game
a,
piece.
can I go on a
ahead.
side tangent about Chunky? Because I saw a video where Chunky goes for amazing walks like a dog, and then I heard this amazing story where you took Chunky for a walk and lost him.
Oh yeah, Billy can tell that. So, yeah. I told it on his behalf because he told me.
Oh, yeah, when Chunky used to go for walks with me and Ramsey at night.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
get home, or excuse me, I get off of work, walk out of my office, and we go for walks. And Chunky, it freaked me out the first time he did it because I was like, man, where are you going? You can't go this far from home. No. And he's walking, and then cars would come, and he'd dart off in the dark, and then I'd see these little glowing eyes, like 2 houses where we were going. And then he would just ninja through the bushes, and then when it was clear, he'd come out and walk right beside Ramsey, like keep up the pace. Ramsey would stop to pee on something, he'd go sniff it, and then catch up to us. And then, like the second, third night that, oh my God, it's hard to remember the night. He just took off. Like he took off. He wasn't coming back, and I heard some skirmish out in the woods, and I'm like, oh man. And I went home, and he didn't come back. I was like waiting outside. He didn't come back. And I literally thought.
And I wasn't home. I wasn't gone. I was gone, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember you freaking out and being like, oh shit, I just lost Marco's cat.
I just lost Marco's cat.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I go out in the back and smoke and drink my coffee. And he's just chilling in my chair. No.
No, that's not the story you told me. It's the one where you thought you lost him and you went to go try to find him and you're whispering in the middle of the night walking around the neighborhood. That's the story. And when you're like, Chunky. Chunky.
And neighbors were all
And
like,
then that homegirl was jogging and gave you the dirtiest look. Yeah.
She was like, fuck you.
Fuck you. Like, oh no, it's not you. I'm trying to find my cat.
I forgot about that. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Come here, Chunky.
Like,
Hey, Chunky.
Come on, Chunky. Come here, Chunky. Chunky. And I remember I turned around and she started walking around, like running past, like, Chunky. And she was like, fuck you. I was like, no. I'm sorry. It's a cat. Anyway, I thought it was great. Thank
I
you
did
for
too.
reminding me of that.
It's a great story.
Yeah. So be
But-
careful.
Now you can't say things like that anymore.
Cat call women and call them Chunky?
That's not a cat call.
Technically, it was.
Yes, you're right.
Hey, he's
But
got
not
a
to
point.
that particular woman. Yes, correct. Yeah.
I bet that ruined her night. I feel bad.
Oh yeah.
I bet.
What's her perspective
Or
on that?
maybe. I mean, she wasn't like she was attractive lady.
Don't. Don't.
Maybe I sent her down a path of years and years and years of
Therapy?
pushing herself to look a certain way. I ruined it.
Stop. Just stop. Don't go any further. Don't go any further. No mas.
Just trying to
No
justify.
And then I remember that Nikola Tesla loved his pigeons. Had a particular pigeon that he loved and wanted to marry. Okay, sorry, I'm going back to the animal stuff.
No, I'm into it.
Busted in there. Do you remember?
I don't know this.
Nikola Tesla had this like relationship with a pigeon that in his journals he said he loved her as if like he would love it as a man loves a woman. He loves her as a man loves a woman.
Man.
So our own Nikola Tesla.
Since he can't fuck the pigeon, see, now I think it's sweet. It's just when they want to have sex with the animal that it really bothers me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know why, other than,
well, yeah,
this is what we...
One's a real intrusion, for sure. And the other, you just imagine Nikola Tesla telling that pigeon all of his hopes and dreams and all of his plans.
Yeah. Becomes almost childlike love at then.
I don't know, man.
Okay, that was my last point on all of that deep dive. But I assure you, I could teach a master's level class.
I'm blown away by that. I'm never gonna watch the documentary. Like, it's not.
Okay.
I am.
You should. You definitely should. It's only 15 minutes long.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I can.
I'm gonna put it in the vent chat so you can watch it if you want. And then it's like that movie Irreversible. You might regret that you watched it.
But then I don't want to watch it. I should just put it on one night and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna start this documentary that Jay recommended," and then I'm just gonna go away for 15 minutes. And then when I come back, she'll be like, I couldn't do that. She's too sweet for that.
No, you want to know. You want to know going in what you're about to watch.
Yeah, that's mean. That's not something you just... Plus, I don't want that on my recently watched list.
Oh, yeah. My YouTube algorithm's all fucked. No pun intended. Now it really thinks I'm weird because of all the poppy music videos that I watch and then donkey fucking. That's not good.
Is that
That's not good.
I hope so.
They think I'm crazy too because at 4:00 in the afternoon I'm listening to Zen music with thunderstorms and Native American flutes, and then at 6:00 I'm watching donkey fucking.
Pure moves.
Man, I'm so glad that
Did you ever own that CD?
Pure Moves?
Oh yeah, Pure Moods. Yeah.
Yeah. I had
Sail
that
away,
one. I had that one. I had the Booty Mixes. Booty Mix two.
Pure Moods with a D.
Pure Moods, yeah. I'm sorry.
Not a V.
No, not Pure Moves. Pure Moods. Yeah, with Enya and
yeah. I went to a wedding where that was the theme. That song I played over and over and over. It didn't last.
How long did that marriage last?
A year.
Yeah.
A year.
That's about as long as a good scented candle, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Good scented candle.
Yeah.
Where do you buy your candles? Mine lasts like a month.
Oh, I don't light mine very often.
And he's
only when it really stinks. Yeah.
It's every Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesdays, here we go. Where's that cinnamon? Jarred candle that I get as a gift? I'm like, ooh, this comes in handy now.
Every year, somebody that always gives like a cinnamon scented candle.
What's wrong with cinnamon? I like cinnamon.
I hate the smell of cinnamon. Cinnamon and coconut, I can't take. And I live in a beach town, which you can't get away from coconut. It's everywhere.
It's true.
It's great.
I don't know who you're hanging out with.
I mean, just in general, like coconut in general is just like because it doesn't smell. It just smells like fucking beach and sweat to me.
No. That's insane. That's like saying grass smells like feet and soccer balls. It's like, no, it smells like grass. Coconut smells like fucking coconut. You're insane, Barry. But thank you for playing. But
I'm just saying. I hate the smell of coconut.
You're incorrect about smells.
Certain grass does smell like feet and soccer balls.
No,
a lot of
grass
feet
smells like grass.
Have you ever
if you're out playing soccer in your feet, because you're using your feet.
If you were out playing grass in your feet,
smell this grass.
I'm gonna go play soccer not in my feet tomorrow.
Don't play in your feet though, and then it'll smell like soccer balls. Whatever. Shut up.
Saying. If you're gonna go out there and play feet in your soccer, all right, I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Let's find out what Shorty gave a girl the nickname Coconut.
Oh yeah, Shorty gave a girl named Coconut. Gave her the name Coconut. I would like to know why too, Shorty. Please put that in chat.
I would like to know why and whom was called Coconut.
He calls us all Coconut.
Oh.
No, I want to know the truth.
Shorty, you can pop in here and say why. Oh, it was just funny. He doesn't have a story.
Oh.
Is she?
Fake news. That was fake news. Classic.
I'm blown away that we just spent an hour that the four of us could come together on a Thursday night and have an hour-long conversation about bestiality.
I knew it was gonna be good.
I mean, that's and it wasn't all completely gross. I think some valid points were made. Yeah, I'm kind of thrown off by the whole conversation, to be honest. I mean, it's cool, but I have nothing to say on it because I'm just so blown away that that's accepted. Like,
I try to look at everything from a fascinating standpoint before I go, what? Ew, gross.
Yeah,
I want to know why something is the way it is.
That was my big takeaway from that lady. Was she was just like, they have a different way of looking at sex, and then once you get your brain around that, it's kind of like, okay, sometimes people do things that it's really hard to imagine. But it doesn't. It's not really my place to say anything other than, oh, how fascinating is the human experience,
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, I don't want to judge anything before I really think about it. But there's certain things that are, as soon as you hear it, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at you afar before I let you in.
I'm more inclined to judge somebody for something really dumb and meaningless. But if it's something that's like a big deal like that, because that is a big deal. That goes against our cultural norms and our expectations. So when it's something that it's that big, but I'll be like, oh, look at that fucking whatever over there. But when it's something that big, then I'm like, what? Tell me about this,
You know what hooked me was the old man reminiscing about his times with the donkeys. That was when I was like, okay. All right. They're like, oh, siéntate, le dijo a los donkeys. A los burros. I was like, oh my God. All right. Well, they're just going to come up to some old man and be like, hey, you ever fuck a donkey before?
Oh, let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
Hey, I have to go learn how to play this game real quick.
Yeah. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up here because it's reaching that time. I'm really glad I recorded this one because I'm definitely gonna slice it up and make some little clips out of it. Maybe a song or two. I think.
You want me to write you a song? I can write a song.
We can write a song about donkey fucking.
Donkey badge.
But I appreciate
Donkey
you guys.
badge.
Thank you so much for this spirited conversation. I would like to know that documentary so I can send it to people randomly.
I'm going to send it. I'm gonna put it over right now. I'm gonna send it over right now.
Okay. Gonna take like a 15-minute break and we're gonna play Among Us with a bunch of comics and stuff. And if anybody wants to check out the stream and join in or whatever, you're welcome to. You know that, right?
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you.